Hello friends, let's start with membrane filtration using ultra and microfiltration, RO and nanofiltration. So these are given in two different modules, but we have to study all four together to understand the difference. So let's start with membrane filtration. Now these microfiltration, ultrafiltration, nanofiltration and reverse osmosis, these are all membrane based filtration techniques. Now in general, how do you define filtration? Is a process of removing particulate matter from water by forcing the water through a porous media. Now we have studied sand filters where the porous media is a natural porous media, which is sand, gravel or clay. And here in membrane filtration, these are membranes made of various materials. And how do you define a membrane? It is a selective, you can see a selective barrier which allows certain things to pass through the membrane, but it will stop some other things from passing through the membrane. What materials are stopped by the membrane is like molecules, ions and some small particles which are not allowed to pass through the membrane. Now let's see some history about the membrane filtration. Now this concept of membrane has been known since the 18th century, but was used a little outside the laboratory. So mostly for study purpose and laboratory purpose these were used till the end of the World War II, when drinking water supplies in Europe had been compromised by the war and membrane filters were used to test for water safety. So that was the first time when it was used for public purpose, mainly for supplying good drinking water to the public. However, due to lack of reliability, slow operation and high cost, these membranes were not widely exploited, they were not widely used. The first use of the membranes on a large scale with microfiltration and ultrafiltration techniques were in the 1980s, and along with electrodialysis they were employed in large plants, and today many companies are selling this under different trade names. The degree of selectivity of the membrane, now how to select the membrane out of these four, it depends on the membrane pore size, and depending on the pore size they can be classified as micro, ultra, nano and reverse osmosis membranes. So the classification of these different types of membranes, it is entirely on the size of the pores and the size of the material that can be removed during the filtration using these membranes. Hence they depend upon the size of the pores of the membrane. So naturally what happens is, if the size of the pore is bigger, then it will remove less number of particles, and if the pore size is very small, then it will remove more number of particles. Now the what are the particles which are passing through the membrane and what the particles are removed, it is all clearly shown here in this diagram. It is a very nice diagram, you have to understand this. So these are the filters, filter membranes, micro, ultra, nano and reverse osmosis. And here the blue color arrow, whatever is shown here, indicates the particle is very small enough, smaller than the pore size, so they pass through the membrane. So the arrow is showing penetrating the membrane, and the deflected red arrow, whatever is shown here, it shows that the filter blocks the particle from passing through the membrane because its size is bigger than the pore size. So very simple to understand, and all the things which are blocked and things which are passing, everything is written here. So you can see here microfiltration is going to allow the water to pass, the monovalent ions to pass, the multivalent ions to pass and the virus. So it will allow these four things to pass through the membrane. It cannot block these four because they are of the smaller size than the pore sizes. And bacteria and suspended solids, they are bigger than the pore sizes, so they don't pass through the membrane. Similarly, ultrafiltration is going to allow water, monovalent ion and multivalent ion to pass through the membrane, and virus, bacteria and suspended solids are blocked. They cannot pass through the membrane, so they get removed. Similarly, nanofiltration is going to allow water, monovalent ions and some multivalent ions, While as some multivalent ions, virus, bacteria and suspended solids, they get removed because they are blocked from passing through the membrane. And reverse osmosis will allow only water to pass through the membrane, and while as monovalent, multivalent ions, viruses, bacteria, suspended solids, all of them, they cannot pass through the membrane. So what you can understand by this figure is reverse osmosis has got the smallest pore size, therefore it will allow only water to pass through the membrane, and the rest of all of these things are going to get removed. They cannot pass through the membrane. While as microfiltration has got the highest pore size amongst all these four, therefore it is going to allow water, monovalent and multivalent ions and viruses. All of them, they pass through the membrane because they are of the smaller size than the pore size. While as only bacteria and suspended solids, they get removed, they cannot pass through the membrane. Similarly, ultra and nanofiltration, what things are blocked and what things are going to pass, it is shown clearly in this. So it's a very nice figure clearly indicating the difference between these four types of membranes. Now here there are certain definitions which we will understand now only, because we will be using these words later on many times. So this everyone knows, but just as a reminder, valency you have studied in chemistry. Valency is the combining capacity of an element. In other words, the number of electrons which an atom can gain or share or lose when a chemical reaction takes place is defined as valency. And you can also say that valency of an element is a measure of the combining power with other atoms when it forms a chemical compound or a molecule. Now we all know that there are different types of valency, like elements having atoms or ions having monovalency, divalency or multivalency. So monovalent will refer to monovalent ion or an atom, ion or chemical group with a valency of only one. Mono means one. So any atom or any ion or a chemical group which has got a single valency is called as a monovalent. Divalent ion or a molecule has a valency of 2 and therefore can form two bonds with other atoms or molecules. And then the monovalent cation, some examples are ammonia, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, copper. Monovalent anion like chloride, bromide, hydroxide, bisulfate and bisulfide. Divalent cations like barium, calcium, magnesium, strontium, lead, iron and silver. Divalent anion like oxide, thiosulfate, silicate, zincate. These are all the examples. Similarly, trivalent cations examples are given. Trivalent anion examples are given. Now there is another definition here. What do you mean by flux? Flux is the flow rate of the water which is applied per unit area of the membrane. Flow rate of water applied per unit area of the membrane. At what rate you are applying the water to the membrane is flux, right? And the filtrate is the water that has passed through the membrane. The water passing through the membrane per unit area, filtrate. Now this is the comparison between the four different types of membranes. Now the most important thing here is the pore size. You can see here, as I told you, reverse osmosis has got the smallest pore size, that is 0.0001 micron. Microfiltration has got a pore size of 0.1 to 10 micron. So you can see the difference. This is a very small pore size. This is a bigger pore size. So similarly, ultra and nano are in between 0.01 micron and 0.001 micron. So every time you can see there is a difference. The pore sizes are smaller and smaller. And that figure I have already explained. Same thing we have written in words here. What are the particles blocked and what are the particles which are allowed to pass through the membrane. So this I have explained in that figure, so I don't want to repeat again. Now what are the applications of these micro, ultra, nano and reverse osmosis? This first one, microfiltration, the application is used in treating water for potability. Both filtration and disinfection can be done in a single step. So there is an extra saving in the cost of the chemical and equipment. So you don't have to disinfect the water again. So that because it is removing bacteria also. Other applications are in sterilization, petroleum refining, dairy processing, etc. And the second one, ultrafiltration, it has been used to replace coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, filtration, chlorination, everything. So it can be used as a only method of treatment in isolated regions with growing population where facility to do all other treatment is not there, right? And the nanofiltration is going to remove divalent ions, which is going to make the water hard. So its application is more in water softening. And similarly, in reverse osmosis, removes monovalent ions also, because of which it desalinates the water, removes all the minerals from the water. So you can use it where desalinated water is required. So those are the application where you can use. Now, what are the advantages of the first one? That is the microfiltration. Low operating pressure required, low energy consumption compared to the nano or RO. Few manual actions required, and it is relatively cheap. Ultrafiltration, no chemicals are required, constant product quality. The water coming out of the ultrafiltration have a constant quality or a uniform quality. The plant is very compact. It is capable of producing water of standard quality, and 90 to 100% of disease causing organisms are removed. And the third one, nanofiltration, what are the advantages? Lower discharge volume, low retained concentration than the RO for low value salts, reduction in salt content and dissolved content, that is the total dissolved solids. Even in brackish water also you are able to reduce the salt content. It also helps in reducing heavy metals, it also helps in reducing nitrates and sulfates, it also helps in reducing color and turbidity. And lastly, reverse osmosis has got an ability to remove many dissolved substances and produce good finished water. RO does not add any other chemical to the water, it only separates the dissolved substances from the incoming water. Those are all the advantages. Now, disadvantages of microfiltration is monovalent species like sodium, chloride, dissolved or natural organic matter, small colloidal sand viruses will still be able to pass through the filter, so they cannot be removed. So the quality of the water is not very good. And second one, ultrafiltration, what are the disadvantages? The cost is high due to the membrane fouling and replacement. We will see what is membrane fouling, that is degradation of the membrane. We will see that later. So high cost because of the membrane fouling. Pre-treatment of feed water is required, that will again increase the cost. And then insufficient quality of the treated wastewater. And then the nanofiltration, high installation cost, higher energy consumption than the ultra and microfiltration. Pre-treatment is required for some heavily polluted water, and then limited retention of the salts. Nanofiltration membranes are more expensive than the RO membranes. And lastly, reverse osmosis. It removes healthy minerals also, including calcium and magnesium, which can make the water unhealthy because of complete removal of the minerals. So water becomes totally demineralized. Takes more time to purify. As natural minerals are removed from the water, it totally gets demineralized, and hence the taste can be affected, and it may become tasteless because of total removal of all the salts. So those are the disadvantages. So we will see the other things, what do you mean by fouling, and how to control and how to avoid the fouling in the next video.